just the intro card.
Oh. Where did it go?
Mike said sounds good to add in the rats, bro.
I want. They're rats, bro.
He is very confused with the hand shoes and horse grenades.
Horseshoes and hand grenades. Hand shoes and horse grenades.
he
Where did I put that
he
notebook?
asked
Oh.
me what who said that.
Yes.
I said
That's what you respond with. Yes. Yes, who said that?
I just tried explaining. It must have been one of the nights I was really tired.
Delicacy.
Because one of the things about me,
Player one, I attack the sluttiest looking one. They're rats, bro.
okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oi, oi, climb aboard under the Dritz channel. We got a great one for you today. We are reviewing One Piece. I'm your host, Ski Nerd, and that is my co-host over there, Derv Derv.
Other way around. I'm Tech. It's my channel.
What?
It's my channel.
Yeah.
So I should be the host. You think?
It said co-host, didn't it?
You called me the co-host.
Well, co-host means we're both host.
Whatever.
That's what, like co-conspirator. Like
Alright,
there,
just
there's
drop
many
it.
co-conspirators in this too.
I meant I didn't mean it for a full-on explanation. Meant it more jokingly.
Oh, okay. Well, it didn't come off as a joke. Cause you know why? Because I'm really bad at like picking up people when they're like being sarcastic, like really bad.
Just like Luffy.
Yeah, pretty much. I found some more quotes by the way. I know this is our like One Piece thing, but I found some more quotes for the D&D. If you guys want to hear these hilarious quotes, stick around for the intermission portion, and we will discuss these quotes and what we should put on our merch that we're getting. All right. Anyways,
I already
sorry for
I already gave Mike three ideas, and that's all he wanted.
Okay. Anyways, um, we can always think more if you want. Anyways, uh, today we're reviewing season 13 of One Piece. This was very satisfying, very fun. It gave a great conclusion to season 12 because it has to. But
Yeah, season 12 kind of ended very abrupt.
yeah, so we got the end of the battle between Luffy and Lucci, and then and what ensues there, and then we got everybody back at Water Nine celebrating the victory because of course Luffy wins, duh, and new wanted posters and a new ship. Ooh, and what is this ship called? What does this ship look like? Ooh, I'm excited. Ooh, let's get into it, guys.
Uh,
All right. Huh?
Nothing.
Oh, all right. First thing we always do is usually the new characters, um, but that doesn't happen until after like the fight. So let's uh, let's finish the fight portion first, and then get in the new characters. So I'm briefly going over the main story points. This is our new thing. Briefly, and then we will get back into it if we want to talk about specific things. Just interrupt me, derp, whenever you want to. Hold
I'd say let's try to make the plot synopsis under 10 minutes.
Oh, absolutely. All right. So the first thing is Frankie learns that due to an announcement from the Marines that Frankie's crew and shipwrights are all dead. They were the ones trying to escape at the entrance to the island. We learn they're all dead. Frankie's obviously devastated by this news. Next one is what is that? Can't read my own writing. Commit. Captain's attack. Oh, sorry. The commanders and captains all attacked the Straw Hats. So they were ordered off the boats to attack the Straw Hats. They're really strong guys. Anyways, after everybody else failed, pretty much. Usopp takes off his mask, and he becomes emotional when he sees Luffy on the ground, and that was a very touching scene between after their argument, after their fight. Even though Usopp was Soga King, he still loves Luffy, and he is still part of the crew, but he technically left it, so he's not. But anyways, he's still entwined with Luffy. Anyways, let's see next one. Then another good scene is Frankie's crew and shipwrights and the Giants survived thanks to Polly's ropes, which is when I saw this scene, I was very happy. I got very happy, and I couldn't watch it anymore. I was like, oh, I was so excited, so I was like hopping around the house. I was like, yeah, and I went up to him. I'm like, oh my god, this thing happened. And he was looking at me like, what the heck are you smoking? Like, bruh. Anyways, that was fun. Did you have fun with that one, Dirk?
Yep.
Yeah, excellent. The escape ship that they were going to escape on got blown up by the remaining Buster Call battleships. So that sucked for them. Then everybody jumped into the sea, and the Going Merry was down there, and there was a voice of the Klabautermann spirit, and that was touching for what the Going Merry did for the Straw Hat crew, thanks to their love of the ship. That was great. And Robin, oh, this is a good scene. Robin, after she was like mentally abused and physically abused by fandom, Robin kills fandom. Or my theory is that he's not dead, but she broke his back, so now he's paralyzed. That's my theory. I don't know if it's true, but remember, this is my raw reaction to watching One Piece the first time, so that's pretty cool. And then in episode 312, they had a funeral for the Going Merry. They set it on fire. They were all crying, and it was pretty emotional. Oh, right. And then we have one of the greatest things, the $200 million berries that Frankie stole from the Straw Hats. He used it to buy Adam, the treasure tree, and this is like 1,000-year-old tree that's very rare, that can only be sold on the black market, and it's very strong. They use it for the husk of the ship, as they were talking about earlier. What was it called? Okay, ooh, I got so many notes. Oh, sorry. It was the keel of the ship, the thing that goes underneath the ship. It's the what do they call it?
It's basically the backbone of the ship.
Thank you. The
It
backbone of the ship
gets broken and the ship can't be repaired.
Yeah, so this one is like a super solid one, and this is actually Frankie's dream of building this particular ship because he's always wanted to surpass Tom in some way, and so his dream is to build a ship and to sail on it as well. But Icebark has to remind him of that second part of sailing on it because there's the ship isn't complete until until you actually sail on it for a very long time over many seas. Anyways, where was I? Then Luffy's grandpa shows up, who is a Vice Admiral Garp.
Which this is where we find out in the anime that he's his grandpa.
Yeah.
In the live action, you find it out a lot earlier.
Yeah, so this was already spoiled for me. I already knew. Unfortunately, I would have been more surprised, but I already knew because I watched the live action that Garp was there, and they actually had a scene from later on in this arc that was in the live action when he's throwing cannonballs at Luffy's ship. But in the anime, it's a lot more cannonballs because it's cartoony. So, anyways, so that's the grandpa. That was like the huge like, oh my god, what is happening? Then we learned about story-wise the four emperors and the seven warlords and the world government. We'll get into that a little later, but that's just more of a story thing. We learned that the next destination due to the log pose is Fishman Island, and thankfully Grandma Kokoro, she is from there, and so she's like, oh, Fishman Island, yeah, it's a great place. It's where I grew up, blah, blah, blah. That's where they're going next. Anyways, and, oh, right, and in order for the Frankie's crew knows that Frankie wants to sail with Luffy, and the only way they can do it is by force. So Frankie's crew
steals his underwear.
is the only thing that will get his attention is they steal his swimsuit. Now he's running around town destroying buildings, but he's also being called a perv, and all the adults are like, "Oh my god, put the children inside!" And then the children also run with the adults to ridicule him, and they're like, "Oh my god, stop looking, children!" Anyways, eventually, as we all thought this would happen, Frankie joins the crew, and Luffy even says, like, Frankie's the only person I would have on my crew. And later, Usopp apologizes, and he joins the crew, which is great. And that's a whole thing. And then it cuts to all of their wanted posters and stuff, and the villages it cuts to each like village, and each village is proud of each person. So you have everyone. You have Zoro, Luffy's village, Zoro's village, Nami's village, Chopper. That's pretty much just a doctor. Robin in Alabastia. They talk about her. Even in the Sanji with his non-picture, they all love it for having a poster and stuff like that. It's really unique. And even Usopp, only Usopp's crew knows that the Soga King is Usopp, and he has a $30 million bounty, and it was like covered up for the longest time of what's his bounty, and we also learned. Oh, by the way, Chopper's bounty was like 50, and that was just hilarious how Chopper was just like, I'm not a pet, because they named it their pet. But the last one is, oh right, the next destination is Fishman Island. That's the last one they say before the last episode. So that was the quick synopsis Hopefully that didn't take too long.
Just at 10 minutes.
Oh, sweet.
Because we did
So,
5 minute intro and then we're at 15 minutes for the recording.
all right, cool. All right, so let's get into like what do they call it? Historical stuff, just fun stuff to look at. What did I write down?
And just for a quick clarification, when he said that Sanji's wanted poster had a non-picture, it was a drawing, a very crappy drawing of him.
Yeah, there was like a scene when Sanji's like when they were talking about their new wanted poster. Sanji's like envisioning himself like, oh my god, they must have got great shots of me. He's like envisioning all these amazing shots. He's like, which one should I choose for the women to love me? And he gets this crappy one that kind of looks like him, but he looks like a doofus. But there's also like this like little scene where the photographer was like, yeah, I couldn't get a picture of Sanji, but he was dark, man. He was so dark, and it was just a picture, and everything was black. And the captain looks at the photographer and says, "You had your cap on, didn't you?" The photographer's like, "Oh crap, I did." So he didn't get his picture taken, but the cap was on. All right. Anyway,
I'm trying to find the picture, but I
so
can't.
let's do the yellow next, which is lore, history, technology, or world mechanics. The first one was fun. First one was Kokoro. We learned that she's a mermaid, a half mermaid, or specifically an ice fish mermaid. So we get a little lore with the mermaids, and like the first like 30 years, mermaids have the tail, but after that, they form legs. They can form legs, and they can transfer, I guess, or transform, which is kind of cool. Never even thought of that for mermaids. But let's see, next one. Oh, we learned was called the Oro Jackson, and that's the one Tom made, and why he got arrested for helping the pirates. So that was fun. And then this is where we also learn about the four emperors, and the four emperors is one of them is Whitebeard, another one is Shanks, and so they're like on equal standing power wise, pretty much, and we get to see some of Shanks' power, like as he's walking onto Whitebeard's ship. People who aren't strong enough, like, go unconscious, and I guess he has like an air power or something. We don't at this point we don't know if he has a double fruit or anything, but it kind of looks like he does. But I mean that will hopefully be revealed.
It will be sooner or later. That's all I'll say.
All right, cool. And so it's the four emperors versus the seven warlords in the world government versus the revolutionaries, which is the head of the revolutionaries is a man named Dragon. And we also learned that Dragon is Luffy's dad, which is kind of crazy.
And is also the guy that we saw at the end of Rogue Town.
Yeah. Oh, shoot, we forgot to do the green stuff, the people's names. All right, let's do that really quick. So we had for the new people or the new things, VA Garp, Vice Admiral Garp, which is Monkey. His name is Monkey D. Garp, Garp the Fist, Vice Admiral, and this is where we learn where Luffy gets his endurance and his ability to take a lot of punches. It's because for 10 years he was trained by his grandpa. We got little synopses into it. He's like, oh yeah, I threw my son into a jungle. I threw my son into an endless pit. You couldn't throw him in the ocean, but I threw my son into a burning building and see if he could get out. And he just like nonstop punching every day. pretty much just formed Luffy into what he is. And we learn about his lineage with his dad, and his dad is super strong. It's just like, oh, this is why Luffy's kind of strong, because his grandpa is super strong and taught him how to fight and stuff like that. And I assume his dad was taught by Vice Admiral Garp as well, how to kind of fight. So um, that's really good lore. I love it. And let's get into the next one. We also meet um, Kobe and Helmepo, but
They're much
different.
older.
It is Sergeant Major Kobe and Sergeant Helmepo. And they actually fight Luffy and Zoro, which is really cool to see. Helmepo has Kuriki, which are swords that are slightly bent, and Kobe is just fighting with his fists, I think it was. And he even used the shave technique. And because of Luffy's experience fighting Lucci, which we will get into, I promise you guys, he uh, he was able to counter his attack, and it shows Luffy's growth, and it also shows Kobe's growth and how they're fighting and stuff. So that's kind of cool. We got a slight mention of a Dr. Vegapunk, who it's revealed. I think it was Nami was spying on the conversation between Kobe and Luffy, and I think Helmepo was there too. They're talking about this Dr. Vegapunk and how they're able to cross the calm belt. They put the sea prism stones on the bottom of the ship, and it makes the boat look like a fish, so it doesn't get attacked, and they're able to sail it without any worries. It's not foolproof, but it makes it less likely for them to get attacked. And they're also informed about the end of the Grand Line, which is called the New World. And it's very only like the best of the best people can make it there because the Grand Line is so harsh in itself. Um, anyways, um, we also learned that Kuzan, sorry, Aokiji is actually Kuzan, and Kuzan was the guy who attacked Saul, and Robin saw this and um, why she's scared of the Buster Call and stuff like that. I kind of figured that as soon as I saw the ice. I was like, they kind of look the same. He must have like changed his name or something. But you knew that. They mentioned it, and you're like, huh, that's weird.
It's kind of a. He. I don't know necessarily. It's not really a spoiler. He goes by either name at multiple different times in the story.
Oh, okay.
It's not really a spoiler, but I hope.
All right, sounds good.
He goes by both, basically.
Yeah, at this point, we know he can go by two names, so it's not. I don't think it's a spoiler.
It pretty much depends on like where he is at the time of what name he goes by.
Okay.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. Anyways, we get some information on Fishman Island, which I mentioned before, and Kokoro was saying that they have to pass through the Devil's Triangle, or it's also known as the Florian Triangle. They're like it's kind of like think of the Bermuda Triangle, and it's like more dangerous than normal. And there's a lot of like ghost ships basically, and a lot of washed up ships that are there. And so everybody's like super scared. But as soon as she mentions, oh, there might be treasure ships too, everybody's like, oh, treasure ships, yeah, we can go get the treasure ships, and they're not scared anymore. It was funny. Anyways, what were we saying? Their new ship is called the Thousand Sunny. And that's all I really have to say about that. So when everybody got their Wanted posters, and there's like an episode where all the villages are proud of it. He cuts to Luffy's village, and the mayor says a line. He's just like, "I wonder if Dan knows about this," and I don't. It does. They don't go into more detail, but did Dan is possibly someone in the village, maybe related to Luffy? Um, I don't know. And please don't spoil it. Thank you for not spoiling it. Um,
Honestly,
so,
I'm not sure
okay,
myself.
it could be a person. Probably almost got to be a person. Um, is it relevant to the story? I don't know, but we'll
I
see.
just looked it up and now I kind of know. It, it
Okay,
looks familiar. That's all I'll say.
okay, sounds good. And then it cuts to where we get to see Luffy's dad, um, aka the world's most heinous criminal, revolutionist dragon, Monkey D. Dragon. Wow, what a name! And it cuts to like it looks like it's a base. Um, on it's called Land of White Soil, Baltigo, on the Grand Line, and I guess they're talking about some like war stuff and how they just took an island or whatever. And he gets the sees the poster and he's really proud of his son, which is really nice. Anyway, so that's all the new people. I know we went into a little more detail than normal, but that's okay. Uh, Next, we'll do the big one
That
right
was
now.
that was about 10 minutes as
Okay,
well.
cool.
Just going. We're trying to cut things down, and so that's why
Make
I'm
it
keeping note of
watchable.
how
Yeah,
long we're doing each session, each part. Which
yeah. Okay.
I think 10 minutes is pretty good per part.
Yeah, and if our editor they can do the different sections for the video.
Yep.
It's like this talking about this section, talking about this section. Anyways, um,
You hear that, editor? I don't think he's
um,
in the chat, but
it's all good. All right, so now it's the weapons part of the cool attacks or whatever. So the first one I found was called the Six King Gun. So this is the I mean, yeah. As long as we're talking about the attacks, let's talk about the Lucci fight. In the meantime, the 16 gun is basically 10 finger pistols. Um, Kind of he does the Kamehameha hand gesture. Sorry, Lucci does when he's fighting Luffy, and this fight was like really epic. We got the first part earlier, and now it's um, like Luffy got attacked into a building or whatever, and stuff started to happen, and now it's like the real fight has begun, kind of thing, and they kind of keep going back and forth, and Luffy eventually gets to the point where he does his second gear again, um, and he did the third gear, and he did the bone blue where he punched Lucci. Uh, but Lucci survived that, and he was able to come back and fight some more. And Luffy's like, "Oh my God, you survived it!" Blah blah. Blah. And they're kind of going back and forth, and it was this fight was like an ideal ideologue fight, and it's kind of like the movies. I don't know if you've seen the movie Cinderella Man, but it's a boxing movie,
I
and
have
so you have seen it.
I
Excellent. So
have not, to my knowledge.
oh, you have not. Okay. So in let me just explain Cinderella Man. So Cinderella Man is very briefly. Cinderella Man, guy boxing and during the Great Depression, and he's fighting basically for his family, for people he loves, and in one of the fights, this super strong guy throws a couple of his best punches, and as he's about to like fall down, this guy just starts thinking about his family, and that gives him the strength to not fall down, and who threw that punch looked at him like, "Holy crap, you're strong." Like, and it was just he was just thinking about his family. This is what this fight was about. It was about Luffy fighting for his friends versus Lucci fighting for his dark justice. And fighting for your friends gives you more motivation, kind of thing. And I would say that Lucci is more strong, and Lucci should have won because eventually Luffy gets knocked down and he can't move, especially after using his second gear again, and that takes a big toll on his body. The second gear, but this is the point where Usopp, or Sogeking, I should say, takes off his mask and he's like, "Luffy, get up!" And then Luffy's like, "Oh my god, Usopp, you made it! Wow, that's amazing!" Not realizing that Sogeking was Usopp the whole time. I just love that joke. And you have this whole emotional back and forth where Usopp was telling Luffy to get up. You know, get up, get up. Come on, Luffy. What are you doing? You're better than this. And that motivation gives him the strength to actually get up. And Luffy says an amazing quote, which is, "Until I defeat you, I won't sink to the ground ever again." And this leads to that Cinderella Man point where Lucci does his six king. He like wraps. It's like Luffy wraps himself around Lucci, and Lucci basically now has a punching bag, and he uses a 6-point, 6-king gun technique, and he attacks Luffy like point blank, and he starts walking away, and Luffy's about to fall over, but then he thinks about his friends, he thinks about Robin, he thinks about Usopp, he thinks about everyone, and he doesn't fall to the ground. He's just like, "I'm not down yet." And the look of horror on Lucci's face is the same look of horror in that Cinderella Man movie. It was a Russell Crowe movie, so making songs, fighting around the world, and there's that emotion, that his ability to take that punch and say, "I'm not done yet. I made a promise. I'm going to keep it. You're not going down." So then Luffy does his one last punch. It's a jet Gatling, and he eventually wins, and he blows Lucci onto one of the ships, and he wins, and all the government knows that CP9 was defeated, but of course the government can't say that CP9 exists.
Super.
So
Mike said super host and host.
Super host and host. That's right. Wait, what? What does that mean? I'm so confused.
Frankie says it a lot. Super.
Oh, that's okay. Frankie got it. So I'm listening to in Japanese, so there might be a different.
I'm pretty sure it's still the same in Japanese.
Oh, probably. But I'm glad you said it, Mike, because I love his pose. He just didn't have his girls with him, or sorry, his sisters. So yeah, so Luffy wins, and it's right after that Frankie's crew is shown to have survived, and you're like, "Oh my god, Luffy won!" Blah blah blah. This is a really good fight. I love this fight. It's just the fight between I don't need any friends versus I have friends, and because you have friends, that makes you weak. And if you just go your own way, you'll be stronger. It's like, no, opposite is true. Luffy can do anything. But the only reason Luffy survived is because he took the time to look at CP9's techniques, and he copied them, and he was able to come up with the second gear thing. And without that, he wouldn't have won. Absolutely not. So it was a lot closer fight than what is revealed, and it just goes to show that power levels don't matter. It doesn't matter. Um, as we learned from Dragon Ball Z. Oh, excuse me. All right, so let's get in that. So that was that fight. So let's get into the rest of what we were talking about, the yellow stuff. Oh, that's right. Uh, we talked about the three great powers. We talked about the Revolutionary Army that Dragon is the leader of, Luffy's dad. We learned about the Sea Prism Stones on the bottom of the Marine ships to cross the Calm Belt anywhere, so they can go from the Grand Line cross the Calm Belt into any sea that they want. It gives them more maneuverability, and that was revealed. Um, Dr. Vegapunk, I have a feeling I want them to go find Dr. Vegapunk, to see what kind of like different technologies he has. I just want to see all that. And I think they were talking about. I think they mentioned briefly like they're studying different fruits for devil fruits, and like he was the one who invented the devil fruit, the Dachshund fruit, to get um, inanimate objects devil fruit powers.
Yep.
And we saw, and the two that we saw was Mr. Four's gun, Lasso, had the Mut fruit, and
Spandum's Punk Freed.
yeah, Fun Free. There we go.
His sword that
and,
turned into an elephant.
Yeah, and also we should mention that there weren't any like main characters with devil fruits, but we did have two of the random captains that were surrounding the Straw Hats during the Annie's lobby fight. One was a berry fruit where he just turned into balls basically and could attack. It was a weird one. But the other one was significantly more important. It was a guy who was fighting Zoro and he had the rust fruit, so he can turn metal into rust. You can even turn your skin into rust as long as he's touching you. And he broke one of
Zoro's
swords, his Yubashiri, the Ryu Wazamono sword, that was destroyed, and thankfully he didn't use his Kuina sword. It would have been bad and devastating. Whew, that was close. Anyways, we learned about Shanks' scar from Blackbeard. He got it from Blackbeard Teach. That's his name. And he's trying to convince at this point in the arc, he's trying to convince Whitebeard like, hey, we need to watch out for this Blackbeard. Please call off Ash. I don't think he's ready to take him on. And Whitebeard's like, yeah, right. No, he'll be fine. He's strong. So they share some alcohol and a lot of alcohol, too much alcohol, or maybe not enough alcohol. Depends on how you think about it. Anyways, the best part about the entire arc for different lore and stuff like that is the wanted posters themselves. That's right, folks. We got new wanted posters. We got Luffy. We got Zoro, who we already have wanted posters, but we got people with new wanted posters. Nami got a poster. Chopper, Robin, or she already had one, but Sanji got one. Frankie got one. Even Sogeking got one, aka Usopp. And there were Luffy before had he had $100 million bounty, and Zoro, I think it was like 70 million, 60 million, or something like that. That's what he had. before, but now Luffy has a $300 million bounty, million berry bounty, excuse me, and Zoro has 120 million. Nami has 16 million. Chopper has 50. Only 50. Robin is 80 million. Sanji has 77 million. Frankie 44 million. And Usopp, we learn many episodes later, he has 30 million. And the total is 667 million and 50 berries on that one ship of bounties, which is freaking awesome. So that's really fun. And then the last one for this section is there's a coup de burst, which is what they used to get away from Vice Admiral Garp. After he starts attacking Luffy's ship, 3 barrels of cola, and it can fly a kilometer, the entire ship, which is insane, by the way, for a giant ship to go flying a kilometer. Just from cola, just from Frankie's tech and his ability to invent things. Okay, so we talked about the yellow stuff. All right, let's get into the blue stuff. The blue stuff is weapons. I know we started this, then we got into the fight, so I got distracted. We already talked about the 16 gun. The Yabashiri turned to rust. That was a big one. The jet Gatling, with Luffy's in second gear, he uses Gatling at a better rate. Usopp, as Soga King, used Super Smoke Star, which is like a regular smoke bomb, but it was just a giant one and allowed them to escape on the Going Merry from these 7 battleships that were in the area. And then we have Garp when he's attacking Luffy's ship. Like he first like let Luffy go, and then he was telling the Admiral Son Goku, like, oh yeah, he revealed that, oh, it was my grandson, so I didn't want to attack him. But so he was told immediately to turn around to attack Luffy.
Wait, Goku's in this?
Admiral Sengoku.
You said Son Goku.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
I probably did. Son Goku. Yeah, he's gonna instant transmission anywhere he wants.
So he's the new Zoro? Or he's the Zoro of Dragon Ball Z? Randomly appearing in other anime?
Oh yeah. You know it. And then, so Garp's attack was called Meteor Fist, and that's him basically throwing cannonballs, and he also had Meteor Fist Storm, which is where he throws 1,000,000 cannonballs at you, which is pretty amazing that he can just like casually lift a freaking cannonball and just throw it like a baseball. Like even, even Kobe and Helmeppo were astonished, like, holy crap, he's this strong, Jesus. And finally we had the coup de burst, which is Frankie's technique an emergency technique to get away from someone. And so that was the 3 barrels of cola and a kilometer. Okay, awesome, great, grand, wonderful. Whew. All right. How long have we been going? For like half an hour?
45 minutes.
45 minutes? All right, we should be wrapping up here pretty soon, guys. There is a lot of information, and there is some stuff when I was talking, I was like, oh, I got to talk about that. Oh, I got to talk about that. Oh, I got to talk about that. If there is something that you want us to talk about, please leave a comment below. If you're still watching, because if you maybe you want us to do a separate video on a certain thing.
There is 2 things.
Oh, go ahead.
2 things barely touched on. one didn't at all. Um, First, the death of the Going Merry. First major death of the series.
Oh, yes. Going Merry, R.I.P. Going Merry. Um, yeah, I think we touched on that a little bit,
That,
very slightly. They
that,
just burned
yeah,
the ship, and
that
everybody starts crying.
very emotional.
Yep, everybody's crying, and even Usopp is who said, "I can't cry, or I shouldn't be crying at this," but he cried because as he should,
Then
because he's in love. He loves the Going Merry.
the part we barely touched, the last episode of the season. Ace versus Blackbeard.
Uh, no, that
Yeah, that's the last episode
of 325.
of whatever season we're on.
We're on 13, but are you talking about when Shanks is talking to Whitebeard?
No,
I don't remember Ash versus Blackbeard. There wasn't any fight or anything that was shown.
we aren't reviewing Pokemon now.
No, I know, but I don't know what you're talking about though. Was this a later episode or something?
No, I remember watching it this week.
Do you remember what episode it was?
Yeah, 325.
325.
Yeah, last episode of Goodbye Going Merry.
Hold on, let me. Technical difficulties, folks, because I do not remember this. Because I literally just watched it right before doing this.
It's the main point of the whole episode.
Did it skip it? Oh. Did I? Oh, I think I accidentally skipped it. Oh, that's. Oh my god. So oh crap. I think I accidentally skipped it.
Well, we can just touch it next week.
Yeah, I think I that's my bad. I accidentally skipped it. I was like, oh, I'm done, and it was like episode 326. I was like, all right, cool. I'm on the next thing.
And you can
So
only
I don't know what happened, but the last main episode was them sailing away.
you
And
can
they're
only
like, we're on Fishman Island, and then I was just like, okay, cool.
and you can only blame yourself for the spoiler because you skipped an episode.
Yeah, well, it says it in the bio. Ace hunts down Blackbeard for killing his comrade. So that's why he's going after Blackbeard, because he broke the golden rule of killing a fellow person on the ship. And Shanks was warning, like, hey, don't take Blackbeard lightly, because Shanks got this scar from Blackbeard, and he's a really good fighter in his own sense, and he's like, we need to be cautious about this. Don't be stupid, kind of thing. So yeah, that's my bad, guys. I did not see that episode, but we will talk about it. But we did talk about a lot of other things. Talked about the new fruits. What did I write down?
Luckily, I still had Netflix up.
That's right.
Luckily, I still had Netflix up from right before we started, so I could just quickly look at it.
Okay. Let me read some of my other notes. I have like notes upon notes upon notes, which I probably organize better, but it's kind of difficult to do that. But I'm learning. I am learning every time I see something. We'll try to make it better, guys. I know this is live, but this is kind of a meeting, I guess, of the minds. So let's see. I wrote Luffy can't move. Water 7 rebuilds. Usopp's decision, Iceberg's plan for Water Eye. Oh yeah, Iceberg has plans for Water 7. He wants to turn it into an island, like that can float to counteract the Aqua Laguna. That's cool. Frankie now wanted. We learned that Luffy can eat while sleeping because he doesn't like missed meals. Nami's depressed because um, all the stuff of theirs was on the Going Merry, and the Going Merry is gone. But immediately, one of the Frankie's crew was like, "Oh no!" Or no, it wasn't Frankie's crew. It was one of the shipwrecks. I think he goes up to Nami. He's like, "Oh yeah, we as soon as we when we thought you killed Iceberg, we stole your stuff. So here's your stuff back." And she's like, "Oh my god, we got our stuff back. We got our money back!" Woo! And then they throw a giant party, and there's a barbecue, and Luffy spends like almost all their money. And Nami's like, "Why do you spend all our money?" Well, because we had a party, and everybody wanted to join the party, so we had to buy more food. Let's see. Episode 314 until Luffy's. Oh yeah, we don't get Luffy's backstory until episode 314. I mean, we got some of them when he's a kid, but we get his backstory of like how he trained and stuff like that when Vice Admiral Garp comes along. That's kind of the example of, oh yeah, I totally have a backstory, guys. It's just coming. Yeah, I'll totally make it next time for sure in like a D&D campaign. That's so fantastic.
That's partly why I sent the message that for like our new campaign, we'll just save like the backstory for sessions that not everybody can join. Just so people can figure it out.
Okay, that's cool. Let's see, detail, and then we got some details on the new ship of the Thousand Sun. What was it called?
Thousand Sunny.
Thousand Sunny. Like they have the tangerines. They got a bigger lawn. They got an aquarium downstairs, so when they catch fish, they can keep them alive longer and make them more fresh.
And which Luffy wanted a shark?
Yeah, I don't think that's the smartest thing because they would eat all the other fish, and we don't know exactly how big the aquarium is, but there was like a new kitchen. Oh, Sanji was very happy. The new kitchen had a refrigerator with a lock on it. That was what they were missing. And this is Frankie's dream, and he was able to make it, and it was freaking fantastic. What else did we miss? Report that there's sort of some things that I didn't highlight because they're not as important. Oh, we didn't do the quotes. Ha 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 ha. Quote portion. I said one of the quotes, but these quotes are the best. I always forget the quotes. All right, so the first one was Luffy's quote. I'll say it again. Until I defeat you, I won't sink to the ground ever again. And then Usopp heard a weird voice. This was was it Cloven? That spirit, the ship spirit.
Cloudalkin.
The
Cloudalkin.
Yeah, whatever it's called. Anyways, it says, "Look below, into the sea," and everybody jumps in the sea like randomly. And then Robin says, "Thank you."
Klabauterman. Klabauterman. Klabauterman.
Klabauterman. It's a German word. Klabauterman. Klabauterman. Robin says thank you. Luffy was trying to say thank you to her, and she immediately shut him up with her powers and said, "No, I'm thanking you. You shut up. I'm thanking you." And she smiled, and she laughed for the first time. well, maybe not the first time, but a meaning. This is the most meaningful laugh that she's ever had in her life. And just like Luffy did with Nami, he helped her because they're friends. Next one was this. This is about going Mary and oh right, Polly got laid. That's right. The two because Polly saved everyone, and the two sisters were like, "Oh, Polly, you're so great." And he's like, "You should." He's like, "Oh, you two girls, you should be covering yourselves up. Oh, this is so perverted. This is not right." And they're like totally into him, and he definitely got laid. Polly definitely got laid. I don't care. I don't care what you say. I don't care what anyone says. Nothing can convince me that Polly did not get laid that day. He definitely got laid. Okay. Um, what's your thoughts on that?
It's insinuated. Yeah, we didn't see it
I like it.
actually happen. But
Yeah. And then during the funeral, it was let her rest. Um, let her rest, Usopp. And then Iceberg said it to Usopp. Then Frankie says, "Will you set sail on the ship I've built?" Like trying to talk to Luffy as he's like planning on building this. Will you set sail on the ship I've built? He's talking to them. Next one is Aokiji, and he's talking to Robin. You finally found a tree to call your home. That is so true for Nico Robin. Finally, um, he kept his promise to Saul and let Robin go, which is very nice. Next one. Shanks says, "Stay away. Please stop Ace." Talks about a reckless era, with the pirate era as being reckless. And the last one, if you ever show, this is Zoro talking to Luffy about Usopp rejoining the crew. Um, he says, "If you ever show weakness, next time the one leaving the group, leaving the gang will be me." Like this was very important. This is more of a like a manly thing, I guess. That men understand a little more. But it's a sign of respect. Um, and if you're the leader of a group and someone's not respecting you, other people who are following you will show you less respect, and the group will eventually fall apart. So you need to. Usopp needed to apologize, and you can't have that arrogance of if something goes wrong and you just leave the group, what what's stopping other people from doing the exact same thing, and then now the group falls apart, kind of a thing. This is like a very important for any kind of structure. Even gangs have this, like in real life, like the mob has this rule, and but however, if you're in like an evil gang or whatever, it's usually if you do something like this, like with what Blackbeard did and kill a comrade, which is like really bad, you have to say, okay, this is intolerable. I can't have this happen. You can't just let him go because it shows that you can be trampled on, and who else is going to trample you? And if something else goes awry, someone else can kill another comrade without any consequences, and then you just have chaos if that happens. And while this was happening, Nami's like, no, he can join the crew. Chopper's like, no, he can join the crew. And Zoro's like, no, this is a thing that has to happen. Like, I do not respect you if you don't get an apology first. So that's part of being a leader. You have to make hard decisions like this. Um, and watching Star Trek, there's a lot of situations that happen like that. And watching like military movies and anything like that, there's that sign of respect. Like even in Band of Brothers at the end, um, you have a major
be a lower. He used to be lower ranked than this captain, and he has him stop, and he doesn't salute him, so he has him stop and salute him, and he says to him, Captain Sobel, you salute the rank, not the man. So you gotta salute that way. It's a sign of the salute is like goes back to medieval times where knights would open their helmets and it would make it look like the salute that we have in the army today, and that's a sign of respect. So when you salute, it's respecting something. So like at a funeral or something, like when a military person like dies in battle or whatever, and they have the funeral, all the military people salute them, and that's a sign of respect. So you also got to remember that respect is earned, not given. The reason that Zoro joined the crew was because he respected Luffy for his leadership and what he saw in Luffy. Of course, he didn't realize at the time that he was a crew member, but since then he's been following Luffy, trying to be the greatest swordsman, and how when times get tough, Luffy steps up, and that's what a leader needs to do. And if you're not doing that, you're not a very good leader, and you'll probably something will happen, like the crew will fall apart, or there might be a mutiny, maybe, or you have criticisms or whispers among the crew members of the ship, and when times get really tough, you have to show your mettle. And Luffy so far has been able to do that, but even with Usopp leaving the crew, like Zoro's come in and said, like, this is what you need to do. Even after like the duel that they had, it's like okay, you had the fight, respect the duel, kind of a thing. Which is very, very true. But anyways, that's my 2 cents. That was very. I like that they have that serious stuff in there because it shows like because Luffy is a very happy-go-lucky guy, right? And if you try to stay happy-go-lucky all the time as a person in leadership, you can't do that all the time. You can do that, but when it comes to a serious situation like a big fight or someone leaving the crew, you have to take that seriously. And thank God Zoro was there. Otherwise, without Zoro being there, the crew would probably fall apart. And giving Luffy advice on what to do, and it's not easy. It can be hard at times, but it shows the mettle of the leader versus a poor leader. So, and thanks to Luffy or Zoro's advice, Luffy can become a good, possibly great leader. I mean, he's a good leader so far for sure, but he hasn't really come into very serious things yet. But with his new bounty, he will now have to experience greater threats and make even tougher decisions going forward. So that's, as they say, the burden of leadership. You get so many perks, but sometimes you have to make tough decisions. So, anyways, that's my 2 cents. Do you think we should end that here?
One last thing, just as a more funny. They spend a good 5-10 minutes trying to decide on the name of the Thousand Sunny, and I have a list of the. Yeah. I have a list of the names that they all went through. Bear, polar bear, lion is the Japanese. English is black bear, polar bear, lion, tiger in the dub. Then we have tiger, wolf, lion, which in Japanese, English it's super wolf, gorilla, bear.
Wow. Okay.
Then we have squid, octopus, chimpanzee.
Nice.
Dumpling Gorilla Lion in Japanese. English Dandelion Lion Dandy Unbearable Bear.
Wow.
Boss Lionel, suggested by Zoro. All the others were suggested by Luffy.
Yeah.
Little Darkness, suggested by Robin.
Yep.
Munzer Sunflower, suggested by Sandri. And New
Mhm.
Battle Frankie Line Gain Champion, suggested by Frankie.
Yep. He's like, no, it should be this, and then, and as soon as they learn Thousand Suns, everybody's like, yeah, Thousand Sunny is way better. And then Frankie's like, no, listen to mine. Mine's really good. But everybody goes with the. Yeah, and it was funny because he was arguing with Iceberg. Frankie was. They were like, oh look, it's a. I think it was a sun. He was supposed to be a lion, but they thought it was a flower, or that was a sunflower. And then Iceberg comes along. And it's like, oh look, it's a sun. Yeah, the sun shines, and he's like, no, it's a lion. He's like, no, it's a sun. Of course it is. So he names it Thousand Sunny, which works. All right, I like it. And I'm curious about this new ship too. All the fun stuff in it. God, I am just in awe of the creator. What's his name again?
Ichiro Oda.
Ichiro Oda. Like how he makes just like he's like, oh look, a ship. Oh, I'm gonna put toys on it. Like what's in this ship? I want to know. That's just really fun. Like I want him to be my DM. Come on, you know how fun that would be if we could like he would be our DM and we could play with that. That would be so much fun. Like all the different things. Oh my god. You just in your own world and stuff like that. It's just amazing what people can come up with. Like these are things that are way above my pay grade. I'm like I don't know how you create this stuff, but I love it. Go ahead. Were you gonna say something?
I was just gonna say, let's wrap it up.
All right, let's wrap it up. Well. We talk. I think we were talking about. Oh, didn't I say I was gonna talk about something like later?
I don't know.
I think it was the fight that we're gonna talk about. I don't know. We can go back and we can make a separate video if needed. We'll like rewatch or whatever. Oh yeah, we'll talk about this later. I think it was at the beginning, but I don't remember what it was. So we'll definitely end it here. Well, thanks for watching, guys. If you're still here, we will be watching not season 14 because that's all filler. Season 15, the first 15 episodes.
Next week.
Wednesday, I assume.
Probably.
Okay.
I work till I think 9:30, so it'll be like around 10:30 ish.
Okay, that's totally fine. If you're up for it, or we can do it like the next day.
I should be.
How you're feeling?
I work the same day on Thursday, or same time on Thursday. I know that much.
Oh well, scheisse.
But join us tomorrow for our podcast, and Sunday we're gonna watch and review Krampus.
What's the name of our podcast again?
Basement Dwellers.
Oh, the Basement Dwellers podcast. Wait, didn't we talk about like there's new merch or something?
Yep.
There's new merch, like what?
Shirt, hoodie, mug, and I'm sure there's a few other things.
Mugs. Wow, that sounds amazing.
Let me look at my own site. Or it's Mike's site, not mine.
And they're X amount of dollars, so they don't know the dollar amount. But if you want to buy one, go ahead.
Shirt, hoodie, mugs, and stickers.
Awesome. Stickers. Damn. Everybody loves stickers. I want some stickers. Anyways, so yeah, that's our podcast. Or no, not our podcast. That's our review of One Piece season 13. R.I.P. Going Merry. I'm Ski Nerd.
I'm Derp Derp.
and we'll see you
Tomorrow, possibly.